everybody and welcome back to another tutorial by NovaPans Handpans. Today we're going to be covering what we would call pattern 4 of the series. So we've already covered 3 different patterns and they've all been somewhat related. And I'll give you a quick demonstration of them. Pattern 1 was very simply just 2 chords, 2 and 5, followed by 3 and 5. Which in fact is the chord progression used by Hang Massive once again, like this. The only difference here is that we're also including the ding, the middle note, and we're playing it rhythmically. So that was pattern 1, the simple version. Pattern 2 essentially included a third chord. It was 2 and 5. 3 and 5, 4 and 5, 3 and 5, and we simply just played those as block chords, as in just chords by themselves. Pattern 3 was essentially playing pattern 2, but with some melodic features on the top, so it sounded like this. So that was pattern 1, 2 and 3, which we covered in our previous videos, and today I want to teach you, there's at least 5 variations of that I want to teach you, so let's see which one actually comes out right now. Why don't we do that today? So essentially we're doing, again, it's related to the previous pattern, so if you feel that this is too much of a jump for you, just go back a couple videos and you'll be able to learn it very, very quickly. Just tuck this in. So essentially, in terms of the rhythms, in terms of how we refer to them in the UK, I'm playing a crotchet, quaver, crotchet, quaver, crotchet, quaver, which essentially is one beat note. You call them differently in North America, but it's one beat, half, 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 one, and then the next chord. You actually call those, we call them crotchets. They last for one beat. In North America, I'm assuming when I say you, we get majority people from North America watching, so that's why I say I try to keep the consensus in terms of the reference terminology. The crotchet one beat notes are to you known as quarter beat notes, just because if you play in 4/4 time signature and you divide the 4 beats by 4, you get 1 beat. It's a quarter beat. I suppose that's the theory behind that. So I'm going to notate this for you. 5 lines. Now remember, we're using what's called simplified handpan notation, which we've already covered in many previous videos, but I'll do a quick recap for you. So the ding right now, is in the middle. The second note is what would otherwise be known on the treble clef as a D, or in other words, the space below the bottom line. Third note on the first line. Fourth note, space between the first and the second line. Fifth note on the second line. Sixth note, we actually jump. We go between the third and the fourth line. Seventh on the line. Eighth between the line. 9th on the line. So that's just a reference for everybody, a reminder rather. And we should have enough space, I think, to cover it all in this. We're playing 2 and 5 as a crotchet, so we'll go straight into remember, it's a percussion clef. We're playing in 4/4 time signature. It's important. That's 4 beats in a bar. 2 and 5. So 2 we know is space below the first line, and 5 is on the line. Again, if you're new to this, just type in or search simplified handpan notation for the tutorial on that. I just did a recap actually for these videos, so that video might actually take less time to learn. Check that out. So 2 and 5. 2 and 5. Yeah, and we immediately go into quavers, which are half-beat notes or eighth notes. 2 5 2 5 9 5 2 2 5 9 5 2 2 5 all the way up here 9 5 2. All right, there you go. That should be clear. So played separately, rhythmically. 2 5 9 5. Crotchet also. Okay. Okay, so that's the first bar. Compared to our previous patterns, you'll see that I've actually truncated the rhythm again. I've shrunk it in a way, or in other words, well, if we were playing at the same tempo as before, I would be playing it double time. But we're actually, because before I was playing 1 2 3 4 5 2 3 4. I had the chords squashed in more. But you could say actually I've not shrunk the rhythm, but I've expanded it. There's another word for that, I can't quite remember. Remind me if you know in the comments. After you do this, you land on 3 and 5. 2. It's interesting. We're in a different time signature here. We're actually not counting 4. We're counting 4. We're counting 2. It's like 2 2. Counting 2 minims, or half notes, you would call them, I think. And that's, you know, how do you determine the time signature? It's all about how you count. I'm pretty sure that's a time signature. It's been so long. But essentially we're counting 1, 2, 1, 2, dum, 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 dum. I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's what we did. And then we land on a 3 and 5 over there, which plays the full length of the chord, the bar, sorry, 2 and 5. Right, that's another bar. A very small bar there, but I want to be able to fit in the next part. Essentially, after you play that, that's a 4-beat note, which is a semi-brief, which is a whole note. You've got 4 and 5. And we're playing exactly the same rhythm, but this time the 2s are replaced by 4s. And then you land on 3 and 5 again. So if I was to draw this again for you, the first bar, do notice that these are separate bars. It's a very small bar, but for the sake of fitting it all on, I'm showing you here. So you change all the 2s to 4s. So 4s are here, 4, 5, 9, 5, 4, right? Quaver, half beat notes, or you would call them eighth notes. And that's a crotchet here, which is a 4, right? The crotchet, so it's a quarter beat note for you guys. And I'm going to notate the numbers 4, 5, 4, 5. I'm just so happy I've still got the, just about still got it. But it goes to show if you don't use it, it will fade. And it's been 5 years. And I think I'm pretty sure that it had been 3 years then, 5 years ago, that I hadn't been using it, hadn't been playing. So it's a beautiful skill to have, the ability to read sheet music and interpret it, because it's like reading. It really activates the brain. 9, 5, 4. And then the final chord, as you all know, is the same as that of the second bar, which is 3 and 5, which I'm going to notate again for you here. Again, it's played as a semi-brief, which is a whole note, a 4-beat note, which means you hold it for 4 beats, 3 and 5. So very much like the previous patterns, but developed rhythmically and melodically. I'm going to put the repeat marks, which are essentially 2 lines with 2 dots or colon, indicates that you should go back. We're not going to specify how many times you have to repeat, it's up to you. But the goal is to be able to learn this from the sheet music and then practice it non-visually, i.e. just with you and the handpan. So it helps people when I write the beat numbers. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 fit into that bar there. 1, 2, 3, 4 again, and then here 1, 2, 3, 4. So make sure that you play each of these notes on the right beat, or the right parts of the beat. For example, and we had practices of this in our previous videos, but these quaver notes, which have a tail on them and are connected, are strictly half beat notes, which means that they're played, well, you play 2 of them in a beat. So if you've got a pulse of, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, the rhythm would be, for example, here, let's just repeat 2 and 5. 1, I'll just use my foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we were to play 1 beat notes, right, 2 and 5 together, they would just play like this on the beat, right? So that's the timing of a crotchet, or a 1 beat note essentially. But when you want to play quavers, half beat notes, I'm referring to them as half beat. It's very confusing because in the UK we refer to them as referencing each beat in terms of their names. But in North America you refer to them in terms of their reference to the bar. But then again, I'm afraid to just refer to them as crotchet and quavers, because you have to memorize their those names and what they mean. So I'm just throwing in all the terms for now. But half beat rhythms, which again are actually 8th notes in North America, are played 2 in a beat. Yeah, they're basically half beats. You go 1 and. So if the pulse is 1, 2, 3, 4, you would go 2, 5, 2, 5, and 2, and 3. So to demonstrate this with the pulse, the click, use a metronome. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You play 2 of 5. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, Now technically I'm counting 4/4 there. Really I've written, and that's why I've written 2/2 for the time signature, because it feels more natural to count two minims, or which otherwise are known as half notes, right? North America. Those are 2-beat notes. So 1, 2, 1, 2. That's how I would count it. I'd go 1 and a 2E and 1 and a 2E and. Yeah, that's how I would count it. 1 and a 2E and. So this might be confusing for some, but for others who are more into the actual, say, academic theory of it, and I think I've got it right, but comment if not. We're counting 2 each time. It's just because there's a lot of notes and it feels more natural to just count 2 instead of 4. If you want to count 4, you can. Again, it's a matter of how you practice and associate the notes to time. So in this case, I'm going 1 and 1 and D, 1 and a 2E, 1 and a 2E. Is that right? Oh, I know what I've done. I've not notated it properly. Guys, I'm going to redo it. It's still the same rhythm. We are counting in 4. So what I mean by it coming back to me, this means we should be able to do it in the traditional number of bars, the typical number of bars. 2 and 5. 2 and 5 here. Bam, bam, bam. It's a quaver and 2 semiquavers. 9, 5, 2. That's the same as their quaver, the semiquavers. 3 and 5. A minim. Next bar. 3, 4. Exactly. So 4 and 5 there. Excuse me. Repeat. So again, thank you for being patient. That is how it's notated properly. There's no fancy counting of 2 minims and trying to make it work like that. This is how it is. I won't necessarily notate the numbers because you've already covered this before, but it's 2 and 5. And because we have to land on, we've got beat 1 there, beat 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's just 2 bars, right? 4 beats in each bar. Beat 1 by itself, as you can see here, this is just beat 1 here, is made up of dum, 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 dum. And the way you play that is you've got a quaver, which is a half. I'm referring to British teaching right now. Half beat followed by 2 quarter beats. Bam, 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 bam. If the pulse is 3, 4. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. 1 and a 2. 1 and a 2. So the and of the 1 and is often referenced as a plus and then a little negative sign for the If you get a semiquaver immediately after, as in the second quarter beat of a collection of 4 quarter beats, I'm still referring to British terminology here, it would be considered, it would be probably referred to as E when you count it, 1 E and it. 1 E and a. But we don't. We just have a quaver here, a half beat. So it's 1, 1 and a 1 and a 2. Notice how we do have an E in a way. In the second group of notes for the second beat, we have 9 notes 9, 5, 2, and the same way it's indicated in the first bar, these semiquavers, these quarter beat notes with 2 tails on them. You see there's 2 tails, it's not just 1 tail, there's 2. You have 2 tails on this note, 9 to 5. So you therefore, essentially it's like carrying on the 2 semiquavers you were already playing, and you carry on immediately in playing the second beat. 2 and 5, 2, 5, 2, 3, 4. So essentially you've got 4 semiquavers in the middle between beats 1 and 3. And you essentially, if I just play, you got the pulse. This is tricky for people who haven't practiced the rhythms yet. Go back and to our rhythm videos to help you. But this will really transform your playing. Pulse is slow, okay? It's 1, 2, 3, the tempo. So if you put this on a metronome, you might put 60 beats per minute, which is essentially a beat, a click per second. Maybe even slower, you should try. So we want to play these notes in 1 beat. 1 and a 2. So that we land the 9 on the 2. 1 and a 2. Notice, see my foot. I hope you can see that. By the time I play this, I slapped the second, I stamped the second beat. We need to land on the 9 to begin the next group. You see? Together, separate, 9. Now you don't rush these just because you have to aim for beats. You don't rush like this. You know, you have to make sure each one is carefully divided according to how it's notated. So again, 2 and 5 is a half beat, is a quaver. So if you were to play just quavers, half beat notes, you would go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If you were to play them as semiquavers, which are quarter beat notes, British terminology, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4. If you were to combine those, for example, what would we do? 1 quaver, right, which stands for half a beat, followed by 2 semiquavers, which are 2 quarter beats, which add up to make a half beat, therefore make 1 beat together. So it would be half, quarter, half, quarter, half, quarter, 1 and a 1 and a 1 and a 1. I hope that helps. Slowly, 1 and a 2, 1 and a 2. 1 and a 2 and again 1 and a 2 E and second note there is on the and. So that's the plus there. But there's no you see, because it ends on a quaver, it ends on a half beat note. And then by the time you get to the third and even the fourth, maybe we'll just pretend there's two groups here, but it really is just one group because it's notated as a minim, which is a 2-beat note, covering 2 beats, therefore covering 3 and 4. So by the time you land on 3, you just have to wait 2 clicks to cover the full length of beat 3 and 4 before you then start the next bar and do the same thing again, but instead of it being 2 with the right hand, it's 4. So very slowly, this is what it sounds like. Count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slow it down. Now I know a lot of you learn visually, so I hope that YouTube should be able to provide the fast track links to just see this. Slow it down. Now if the notation doesn't help you as much as just looking at it visually, remember the note positions where my hands are, and also where the notes are played in relation to my foot, which is the click